Spike is dead.
That's true, but I wonder if they'll resurrect him. Like, Spike is dead, but I wonder if they'll resurrect him. And then how are they going to play?
I'm sorry. As much as I love that man, he is not age appropriate.
Welcome to Don't Quit Your Day Job, where three friends run their mouths on the internet. Let's get started.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, Don't Quit Your Day Job. We're so glad you guys are here with us. How's everyone's week going?
Going good.
Is going good.
I'm starting to go stir crazy.
Not much longer. You can drive. What day can you drive?
Tomorrow. I can drive tomorrow.
What's the first thing you're going to
do? Drive to my follow-up appointment.
I would take myself out to breakfast or something. I would be out before the follow-up appointment.
I might. You never know.
What about you, Stephanie? How's the week been?
Long and slow. We're testing, so I don't know if you remember what it was like to do state testing, but I can tell you it's way worse on the teacher side because we have to sit there and stare at you for hours. We're not allowed to read. We're not allowed to do anything. We just have to sit there and make sure you don't fall asleep.
That does sound terrible.
So boring.
I was the person when I worked at a high school who coordinated subs and changed all the classrooms around for testing. Oh, it is like the biggest puzzle, and you guys know me, but for our listeners, I'm not exactly a puzzle person. Patience isn't exactly my virtue. So that was my least favorite time of the year. Normally when it was just a few subs, but during testing, because teachers move around with the kids in different places, it's you have 25 subs sometimes, and they're some are half day, some are full day. The kids aren't in their right classroom. So if they need to get checked out or something, you got to figure out where that kid's at. So yeah, I don't envy you, Steph.
We're a lot smaller than Maumelle, so not quite that many teachers are needed for testing, but over half of us are testing, and then we are lucky enough that we can kind of split it up to different days or whatever, and then we've got a handful. They have what's called career readiness coaches now, college and career readiness is what it's called. And so the two individuals that we have at our school, they're hosting adulting 101 classes for our juniors and seniors that don't have to take the state testing, because juniors take ACT and seniors hopefully have already taken the ACT, so they don't need to test anything. They're 1 foot out the door. Friday's their last day. But so they're hosting those. So we're still having to play musical chairs, like you were saying. I was across the school in a totally different classroom that I never go to because I'm never on that side of the school, and people are in my room without me, and it's weird. But yeah, luckily not a whole lot of subs are needed because we were able to kind of split it up like that, but it does. I don't envy you in that position. Literally our secretaries and our janitorial staff, I would be a mess without those people. I'm going to tell you.
For real. The unsung heroes. So, but today we have a fun topic. And so for our YouTube watchers, I've got my notes on my phone, so I'm not just ignoring the world and looking at my telephone. I'm looking at my show notes. But we're going to talk about reboots, TV and movie reboots that are coming that we're excited about, that we're dubious about, and just some information about those. And so I am going to get into those. So my first one is interesting to me because I watched the movie when I was a kid, but there is a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series that is in development with Hulu. So I know that you guys watched Buffy. I know that you watched Angel, right?
I watched
the
Angel.
spinoff.
I'm a big David Boreanaz fan. Like, talk about talk about a different kind of spring awakening. David Boreanaz played a part in that.
So in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show, Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to return with her title as Buffy, but she's more like she's not like a permanent or like a full-time character, I don't think, because they're introducing a new Slayer named Nova. Gellar is also an executive producer. And some of the buzz around it is that Hulu aims to blend like the nostalgia with fresh storytelling. So they're introducing a new generation to this Buffy universe. So what are our thoughts? Are we excited? Are we not excited?
My initial thought was I wasn't excited, but now that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Buffy's there, they're not redoing like Buffy herself. I'm a little more on board. However, what are they going to do about the vampire aspect of it all? Because if they don't come back, that makes no sense. And they don't look the same. Like,
what are you talking about?
Like, Angel has aged as David Boreanaz is older. So if he doesn't
Angel was not part of the Buffy series at the end, like hardly at all. Like, I think he made one guest appearance, and then Spike is dead.
That's true, but I wonder if they'll resurrect him. Like, Spike is dead, but I wonder if they'll resurrect him. And then how are they going to play?
I'm sorry. As much as I love that man, he is not age appropriate. Neither is Sarah Michelle Gellar. So, like, I don't feel like that would be a smart move on their part to bring them back. I don't. I think the best way for them to go is to go headlong into this new Nova character and her own like storyline and not try to bring too much of the past back. Like, I like that Sarah's coming in to be probably like a guiding hand or like give her a nudge in the right direction. And I would even love to see Giles like show up every once in a while and be like, I'm retired. There's a reason why I'm retired. You know, this is not for me. I'm too old for this. Like, I would love that. But yeah, no, I don't like the idea of bringing all the love interests and things back into this storyline at all. Like, they cleaned that part up really well for me, so I don't want them to meddle with that too much.
I was never a diehard fan of the TV show. Like I said, I watched the movie because Elsu used to watch the movie, and so like that's what I knew. Like my mom and dad, neither one would be into like the paranormal stuff. So like I'm sure if we tried to watch the TV show in the living room, they would have been like, "What are you watching?" No, they were very strict on what we watched, but I could see them being like, "No." So
especially in Buffy's college years, it got wild. So before the 90s, early 2000s TV, it got wild.
Overall, I'm going to watch it, but I'll probably leave it for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Like, I'll probably leave it for them as their Buffy and hope that they love it and carry it on as much as we loved our Buffy, just because I loved Buffy and Angel. Like, I loved both those shows a whole lot. And so...
Yeah, I didn't like Angel that much.
I think because I was less into the show, I'm more interested in it maybe because I never got fully into the fandom of the original one, but I'd see episodes and like episodes, but like I've never watched like the series all the way through or something. But I do agree with Steph. I think for the most part, leave the past in the past. Let Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy be like a mentor, a guide, and have like little bits of the old show. But for the most part, let it be Nova's story. Nova's like the new Slayers.
Yeah, I will probably watch the first like couple episodes to see how I feel about it. Because if it's like the reboot of Charmed, I don't think I'll be interested. So.
I get that. Yeah, the first few episodes really like tells you a lot, which those should be coming sometime. They haven't announced an official date, but sometime in 2026 is when the show is going to be on Hulu. All right. the next show, or the next movie we're going to talk about, is the new Frankenstein film, based on Mary Shelley's 1818 novel and the preceding film adaptations. It's coming out in November of this year, so 2025. The director is Guillermo del Toro, so it's going to lean more into like the horror aspect of it, probably. So yeah, it says it promises, the adaptation promises gothic horror experience, staying true to Mary Shelley's original version. Sorry if you hear a squeaky toy in the background.
Is this the one that has Noah Centineo in it, or did I make that up in my head?
It does not have Noah Centineo in it, but you could be thinking of, it does have Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi.
I like Jacob
me some
Elordi
Oscar Isaac.
It has Jacob Elordi in it. That's who I got mixed up with.
Yeah, that's who I was kind of thinking you would. Yeah, so Elordi is the monster, and Oscar Isaac is Frankenstein, so he's the doctor.
Yeah, he is. Sorry, guys. I love Oscar Isaac.
You can be a doctor with me.
It's true.
So this reboot feels less like sacrilege, like less like people clicking on the internet being like, this isn't like Charmed, or this isn't like Roswell, or this isn't like Buffy, just because it's so old and there are so many adaptations of it. Like, she wrote it in like 18 something, and there's so many adaptations of it. Okay, see, so I probably will skip it, not because I'm not super interested in it, because I think it's super cool. I don't do horror. And for that instance, Frankenstein has always been one of those ones that has scared the pants off of me. So maybe if like Steph saw it and she was like, we can do this, you can do this, and she's willing to watch it a second time, maybe I'll hit it the second time. But like, the horror element is probably what's going to keep me away. But overall, I think it's a great.
I like me some Del Toro. It's usually weird and fascinating. Like, I like how he takes stories that you like should be simple, like you should know the plot, and then he throws something at you. So I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely going to watch it.
I'm interested in it, and I'm kind of like Christina. I'm not a horror person, but there's something about it that makes me want to watch it. So I may make Jack watch it with me. But I also think, I think it's interesting to see. I think it'll be interesting to see Elordi as the monster. That I don't picture him in that kind of role. But I think he could do well in it. I just don't picture him in that. But Oscar Isaac, I think, will be fantastic.
I hope that they honestly don't make him grotesque and like make the monster beautiful. I hope they go like that route where they don't make him look like a quote unquote monster. In fact, leave him handsome. And I think that would be a nice play and something I could see Del Toro doing. Like Stephanie talks about, like layers of what it means to be like a monster or whatever. So that'll be interesting to see what he actually looks like as the monster.
Yeah, so I think overall we're all on board with the Frankenstein reboot that's coming. So the next one that I have is the Masters of the Universe film, which by name, I will admit, I did not recognize. But it's the Mattel superheroes. So think He-Man, think Skeletor, think Evelyn. Like, those names, I was like, oh, I know them. Mm-hmm. So they've had a lot of like TV shows, cartoons, that kind of thing. I don't know that they've necessarily had movies, but there's going to be a film. The release date is set to be June 5th, 2026, so next year. The director is Travis Knight, who I'm not super familiar with. Are either of you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't know him. Nicholas Galitzine, I can't say his name. The one from the Anne Hathaway movie where there's a big age gap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be He-Man, which feels odd to me, but he's going to be He-Man.
Yeah, it feels weird to me too, because he does not have a He-Man face.
Well, like he does not have a He-Man
He's an attractive kid. He's not a He-Man.
And like big. Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of round in the face.
Camila Mendez, I can't remember which one she was going to be. Jared Leto is going to be Skeletor, which I got to admit, I'm personally not excited about. I'm not a big Jared Leto fan, but I am interested that they're making a movie out of this, so I might forgive it. And Idris Elba is also going to be one of the superheroes too, and we all love Idris Elba.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think
Alison Brie is also in it, so there's a pretty stacked cast.
Yeah,
it's a pretty A-list kind of cast.
I completely agree. What we talked about a couple weeks ago or last week about one, Stephanie saying that people not knowing less known superheroes being a problem. And then me being like, are we flooded with superheroes? I'm wondering if they're going to face a fate because of that. Like, because they're not calling it He-Man, which at least is going to spark some recognition, or Skeletor. They're calling it Masters of the Universe, which is like Mattel's brand or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was an animated series called Masters of the Universe, or a comic book series with them in it.
Was there?
I could be wrong because I've never was really big into like He-Man and stuff, but I do know that the elder millennials, late Gen Xers, like they'll be really excited about it because like they were really excited about the She-Ra like animated series that Netflix did. So who knows?
So I will say it's a high budget, $200 million for this adaptation. They're aiming to bring $200 million. So they're aiming to bring the classic franchise to a new audience with modern visuals and storytelling. So like I will definitely watch it. I normally like a superhero movie, but I could see like I said, when I looked up like reboots coming to, as I was kind of preparing for this episode, I was like, Masters of the Universe, what's that? And then I like looked into it and I was like, oh, He-Man, Skeletor. Okay, got it. Like, but to me, those are like classic cartoons. Like those are what I watched. So
yeah,
I wonder if we fall in that sweet spot, for lack of a better word, where it's not for us. So it will be, like she said, late Gen Xers, elder millennials, where we're more like a newer millennial, elder millennials who take whatever iteration of child they have, whether that's Gen Z or Gen Alpha or whatever, and they take them to the movies. And like that's who it hits. And we're kind of right there in the middle of like missed us both times.
Yeah, because I mean, He-Man and like all of that stuff, like it was on TV, but it was already older cartoons by the time we were old enough to watch them. Yeah. And so, but we were pushed into like X-Men 95 or 97 or whatever. And like the whole series and stuff. So it makes sense that like the modern comic books are more our age group, and like He-Man and them are a little before us, because it was like early 80s, I think, when He-Man really got big.
I would guess 70s, 80s, like would be the time.
He-Man,
like I'm pretty sure if you asked Jason, like I'm pretty sure he would have been like, yeah, we watched He-Man like when they had TV and stuff.
I think it could also be more like guys that are a little older than us would have been way more into it than we would. Like I watched some of that stuff, but like I gotta admit, like it was not like what I was just jonesing for, as TV as a kid.
He-Man feels like wherever I put the Jetsons and Fred Flintstone in like that range of like when that cartoon was like at its peak, that falls in that same category of like the same kind of animation style, the same like whoever that's for. And it's not for much before us, because like Fred Flintstone isn't much before us, neither is the Jetsons, but it's like right before me. You know what I mean? Like,
not quite classic, but not quite where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I'm always excited for things to get a fresh take and to see where it goes. But they believe in it quite a bit with $200 million.
Yeah, they're really giving a swing to it. Yeah.
That's a belief, Mattel. And they're banking off of Barbie. I bet you Mattel is. And let's remember, Barbie she's a different breed. She's...
Right. Barbie is...
Well,
Greta Gerwig behind Barbie also made a huge impact. Like, like her name recognition, and also it felt like Barbie was solely made for women and girls. Like, obviously men, like, I know men who liked it, and I think there was a great story in it. But I think, like, women have been craving something like that because, let's face it, the rom-com, like, we don't have the rom-coms that we used to have. We don't have a lot of things that are geared specifically towards women as we used to. Like, growing up, I mean, there were rom-coms a million, and we loved those. But so to have something that was Barbie and just kind of felt like it was special for us, that drew a huge audience. Just because also Barbie is just, I mean, Barbie's Barbie. I mean, He-Man has name recognition, but
He-Man has a really big following. Like, I know that it's not obvious to a lot of people, but He-Man is still worth lots of money. So I think they are, I think they're doing it at a good time where we're still getting a lot of superhero movies and stuff, but the hype is not really way out there, and it is a common enough and well-known and still fanatical enough that I think it'll do well. Because there are certain groups of people that are fanatical about He-Man. So
I think that it's I think we have fatigue from DC and Marvel, and we've talked about that on the pod before. So I think I'm excited for a different breed of superhero, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to our next reboot, there's going to be a live action Lilo and Stitch. So I also want to acknowledge real quick to everyone, that all of our listeners, that I am the person on the pod who is like, let's get away from all the intellectual property and let's get some original stuff. So here I am doing the reboot episode. But I think some of them are worth it, and I think a lot of the ones that we've talked about so far have been worthy reboots, if that makes sense. And it's been long enough. Like, I know Stephanie, when we talked about some before, had talked about how maybe it hadn't been long enough since the original for things. But I sort of personally feel that way about Lilo and Stitch, and I don't love all the live action Disney remakes, but thoughts. Here's some. It's releasing May 23rd, 2025, so this month. Director Dean Fleischer Camp, Fleischer. What a name.
Fleischer.
I'm not familiar with, I know Hannah Waddingham, who was in Ted Lasso, is going to be a character. I don't know who Zach Galifianakis is going to be in it, but I'm not familiar with the girl who plays Lilo or the voice of Stitch. Maya Keola.
It's the original voice of Stitch. It's who has always done Stitch.
Chris Sanders. So it's Disney's live action remake aims to capture the heart of the original while introducing new elements. So
here's my take on Disney remakes, live action Disney reboots. Okay. The thing going for this one is that it was made at a time when things like consent and more modern sensibilities were a thing that were happening and they talk about. Whereas Cinderella, when remade and brought to shine to light, maybe some I think we need to leave the princesses alone. I think that we need to leave the princesses as animated princess movies with not a lot of to watch for what they were at their time and not try to bring them to a new audience, because I think it brings up a lot of like bad messaging that may have happened and like stuff like that. Whereas like, in my opinion, Lilo and Stitch, I would accept the argument it's too soon. Like I would accept Stephanie's argument if that's the argument that she made, that it was too soon. But at least it's not, we're not trying to adapt something from the 1940s and make it modern and not have to face all of those injustices that occurred in the 1940s. Like, we're not having like, there can't be a black mermaid. You know what I mean? Like, mermaids aren't real people. Like that, you know what I'm talking about? That sort of thing. And so I think that maybe we should just leave the princesses where the princesses are and not try to remake any more princesses. And Disney could just make new. They're killing it in Pixar. So just stick there.
It's true.
Like, I think that there could be live action about. I'm more interested in Lilo and Stitch. I'm more interested in this, like, sister had to foster another sister kind of like. It feels like a decom movie from the 2000s.
I just wish that we were. I mean, we are really high in our digital character creating and stuff like that. Like, we have pretty fabulous animations for that nowadays. Our technology is crazy good, but like some of the images of Stitch, like the stills and things from the trailer, I'm just like, he looks so weird. I'm not sure about those. So I don't know. And I think they took out one of the aliens.
They've got to have, wasn't
I know we have Jumba.
Aliens?
Oh no, they do have Pleakley, so there's both in there. I'm interested how they're going to play that, because they were very queer coded in the animation. So I would love it to stay that way. But it seems like when it goes from animation to live action, there's a huge uproar about it, because like it's totally fine that Bugs Bunny was a crossdresser and liked to kiss men, but like, can't say it like that.
Yeah.
Because like that was one of the things with Beauty and the Beast, the live action, was that they got all up in arms about LeFou and Gaston, and I'm like, did you watch the cartoon? Like, yeah, it's a little more obvious, but like that's mostly because what's his name is just that way. Like
Josh Gad.
I just don't think Josh Gad can be any other way.
Do you think that Josh Gad had to come out as straight to his parents? Because if I had a child like Josh Gad, he would have had to come out as straight to me. You
know what? I'm sure a lot of actors have had to do that.
Like Darren Criss. Darren Criss from Glee talks about it in his memoir or something. He did a podcast or he wrote a memoir or something, and he talks about how he had to come out to his parents as heterosexual because he played all these parts. Obviously, his biggest part on Glee, he's a homosexual. He plays a gay guy. And he talks about having to come out to all his friends and how weird it was. And I just think, if Josh Gad was my son, would he have to come out? Like, when he brought his girlfriend home, would I be shocked? Because he's married with a wife and kids and very happily married. But he's a stellar actor.
I also feel like I want to say some things maybe translate better to live action. So, like, I didn't watch Scar. But like the live action Lion King, first of all, like Josh Gad has a voice for animation. Like,
oh yeah,
I love him as Olaf in the Frozen movies. Like, he can voice any animated character, and I know it's him. I obviously like recognize, oh, that's Josh Gad, but it doesn't take me out of the experience. I'm sorry. Beyonce is a beautiful, very talented woman. Beyonce's voice as Nala in The Lion King, all I could think was every time they showed her and she spoke was, that's Beyonce. And it totally like took me out. So I just think there are some people who are better suited to voice characters like that. And I think maybe it's because, like, Josh Gad is so animated anyway, and he does voices in his other acting, whereas, like, like, Beyonce hasn't done a ton of acting, but, like, her voice is her voice, and you just hear, hey, that's Beyonce. And it just felt, but I also felt like...
It might also be, for me, I haven't seen the live action Lion King. Her voice might have been just a little too mature to play Nala. Like, in my head, Nala's still very young, and I feel like even when Beyonce was young, she had a very mature voice. And like, because like when in Epic, she plays the fairy queen and beautiful voice. Like, it fits that character. She does a good job. She's charming when she needs to be. Like, she did a fantastic job, I thought, in that, as a voice actor in that movie. But I could see where it would be hard in The Lion King, just because, like, going from the animated movie, you know, that actress was young and you could tell she was young, and Nala's a young person, and you do not think young person when you hear Beyonce. You think mature adult woman who's got it together.
I also think that... Sorry, I'm playing fetch with Murphy. For those of you watching on YouTube, she's bringing a toy to my lap. So if you see me throw something every once in a while, that's what's happening. I also think that things like The Lion King, you're going from animated to everything being CGI pretty much.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. CGI.
Like what is the point of that? Let it be the beloved childhood classic that it is, instead of making it a weird CGI version.
Yeah, like, I don't feel like it's live action if it's
exactly
CGI. It's just highly animated.
Right.
With
I'd agree.
Scenes that are from real life.
I guess there's scenery, backgrounds. I don't even, like,
I know with CGI, you have to have actors that, like, do some of the movements and, like, the facial features and stuff. Like, I know that's a thing, but it's not something we see.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think they were like, well, we can't do, like, what Cats did, because Cats is, like... Nope, that didn't go over well, so we'll just do it this way and see if it's better. And we're all like, it's not better. It's not worse, but it's not better.
It's not better. No, so I feel like Lilo and Stitch, I kind of feel like at least it's like half and half, but I still feel like there's enough of those characters that I am concerned with how that will play out.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I love Lilo and Stitch.
You know, I loved it when I was a kid and I watched it, but I can't say that it's one that I revisit a lot.
I watch it all the time.
The big black alien, like, security guard guy, was his name Mr. Bubbles? For some reason, that's all I could think.
Mr. Bubbles.
I want to know,
like Cobra Bubbles or something like that.
Because that's an important character to me. So and I didn't think to look it up. So I want to know who plays Mr. Bubble.
I'm gonna look real quick because I did pull it up a little bit ago. It is Courtney B. Vance. And you would know him from Heist 88, The Preacher's Wife, Lovecraft Country.
Big enough. He's fine. He looks good.
Dangerous Minds. Like, he's a well-known actor. Like, I recognize his face. He's not someone I just didn't recognize at all.
I picture the guy from the Green Mile, and I know he died. Didn't he die?
He died.
That's a really big dude, too. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
That's who I picture. Like, if you're doing live action Mr. Bubbles, it's that dude.
Or someone like, oh my gosh, what's his name? He plays Terry in
his name's Terry.
In Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is his name Terry? Yeah, Terry Crews, yeah. I knew it was the same name, but I couldn't remember what the last name is. Yeah. I could see Terry Crews playing that, but he seems a little too silly, but like someone beefed up like him. I can see.
Yeah. doing well at that, but I do love how silly he is. Like, I am not always a huge, like,
if they
Adam
do a
Sandler
live action
fan.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, you got to play the cop dad.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
But he's, I love him in Blended. And he's like the Jamaican singer or whatever, the island singer. He's like, we are blending, we are loving, we are coming together. He cracks me up. He's great.
He is great.
I want to use a dirty transition here and say, speaking of anacondas,
don't want nothing. There's gonna
be a new anaconda film.
This is one I will be missing and assuming.
I watched the first one. That's all I need to know.
Snakes freak me out.
Release date to me, Christmas Day of this year, 2025. They haven't announced a director yet. That feels odd, but that's what I have in my
Gormican.
Okay,
Tom
maybe my
Gormican.
notes were old. Cast Paul Rudd, Jack Black, and I don't know.
So
the
this
other
is
two.
not. This is not the scary version. This is a parody of the OG.
A reimagining of the cult classic, blending horror and comedy elements.
Yeah, this is like oh shoot. This is like the Scream of Anaconda. Like, it's not going to be serious at all.
Yeah.
You can't
Still
put
has
Paul
snakes.
Rudd and Jack Black together and think it's going to be anything but ridiculous. Okay, have you seen the Minecraft movie? It's just ridiculous. And Paul Rudd's not even in there.
I have not seen the Minecraft movie, but I do love Jack Black and Paul Rudd. I also, surprisingly, maybe a hot take from me, I love Jack Black as a romantic interest in a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
in The Holiday.
The Holiday,
So good.
Like, he's
One of my
honestly, like,
favorite
he would be my
romance
pick
movies.
over Jude Law. Like, I love him in that movie. So, our next reboot is there's going to be a new TV series reboot of Desperate Housewives. There is no release date as of yet. The director and showrunner is going to be Natalie Chaidez, Chaidez. Sorry if I butchered that. Kerry Washington is a producer on the show. There's a new ensemble cast. Tentatively titled Wisteria Lane, it aims to reflect contemporary issues with a diverse cast. I like that they're adding some diversity to it. But what do you think?
It's a no for me.
That's where I first fell in love with Jesse Metcalf. It's still a no for me. It's still a hard no for me. It's
I
just
didn't like
like,
the first one.
why are we, like, we have the Real Housewives. If you want to watch something, you
I don't
could
like that
watch
one either.
any franchise that they put out of the Real Housewives. Like,
I have very little interest of watching someone with so much money make stupid and just ridiculous shenanigans with their lives that have serious repercussions in the real world. Like, it's not. I have zero interest in any of that. I don't like Desperate Housewives. I don't like the Real Housewives for that reason. Like, I'm sorry, you have enough spotlight and enough fame. Like, you showing how ridiculous this is, even if you're just doing it to get paid. Like, I just feel like it infuriates me.
I don't want to watch
the snobbish side of me. So
I don't want to watch someone be miserable for 22 episodes. Like,
I don't want to watch someone be just dramatic and miserable. Like, why are we cheating on people? Why, like, that? I'm with you guys. I think it's a yeet it for me, to use our term from another segment. But it's just drama for drama's sake, and that's not my type of TV.
No.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that love that show, and they love that. Both of those. I know we're not going to reboot of Real Housewives because that's never gone away.
Well, there's already like
17
versions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Desperate Housewives, I'm like, I don't need that in my life. I'm good. I'm desperate in the way that I just want half of their money so that I can pay my bills and live a comfortable life. Like, I don't need you to go around acting like a fool.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in a consensus on that one. So let's move to our next one. And that is, there's a new Blade film coming out November 7th of this year, 2025. The cast, or Blade, is going to be played by, I'm going to butcher this, you guys. I'm sorry to our listeners. We'll put it on the screen. Mahershala Ali, Mahershala. Is that how you say it?
You got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Marvel's reboot introduces Blade to the MCU and promises a darker supernatural narrative. What are our thoughts?
Does it need to be darker?
I know. I'm not an MCU fan. That has been stated. But that does not... There is a Venn diagram in which I am a Blade fan. So...
Because it is the most DC of the Marvel universe. It is. I love Blade. I love all of the movies. I just don't think we need to go darker.
I'm with you.
I'm hoping the lights are on for this one. Like, we can at least see whatever darker shenanigans.
Let's hope it's...
Maybe. I know Jared Leto's in this one, too.
Oh.
I think he plays the bad guy.
Not a Leto fan. Oh. The last movie is I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're doing a new film. It's supposed to come out this summer in July. The director is Jennifer Caitlin Robinson. Cast Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Madeline Klein. A modern take on the 90s slasher, blending original cast members with new faces. What are our thoughts?
I like that they're blending the new and the old, but what's the point? I don't understand. We just got a brand new TV series, so I don't know why we're doing a movie now.
It better be their daughter. Fair. Like, it better be Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt's daughter. Like, they better not still be up to shenanigans that people got to know what they did last summer. Like, hopefully it's like a kid, a cousin, a niece, something. They just feel old for that. And is Matthew Lillard in I Know What You Did Last Summer, yes or no?
He's in a lot with Freddie Prinze Jr., but I don't think he's in that.
No.
I say we bring him in then.
I'm going to
say I'm in.
Double check, but pretty sure no.
Especially if Matthew Lillard's in. I say we bring him in.
Matthew Lillard. He's one that me and Stephanie agree on.
It's true. I could not stand him, though, when he was younger and the roles that he played. It was not until he played Shaggy in the early 2000s that he held any sway for me. Before that, I was like, this dude's obnoxious. I just want to throat check him every time he comes in.
I don't know if Summer Catch comes out before or after Shaggy.
Summer Catch. Yeah.
But Summer Catch, I loved him in Summer Catch, so.
Shall we move to... Oh, we're waiting to find out information.
He is not in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Get him out. I just think that he would bring a great gravitas. You know what I mean? Like, he'd bring the razzle-dazzle.
He's bringing the riz. Shall we move to the rec room?
Welcome to the rec room.
Who wants to rec first?
I can rec.
Go for it.
So, I'm going to pull them up so I can give you actual details that matter. But I am going to rec a band called The Paradox. And I've only recently found them via TikTok. But if you like punk rock like I do, they have a great sound. And it is so good. They are an all African-American band, a punk rock band that came together last summer, basically released their first single and knocked it out of the park. Like, they have just been on the rise since then. They have been opening performances for Green Day and Jack White and When We Were Young. And yeah, they are on a huge upward track trajectory. And they are so cute on their TikTok page. Like the first time they heard themselves on the radio, like the one, I don't remember if he's the bass player or just a guitar. I don't know which one he is, but he like was crying. He's like, I knew we could do it. And it was like breaking my heart. They were so cute, but they have like I said, if you like that classic early 2000s Green Day punk rock sound, they are so good. It sounds so good. Their newest single was Do Me Like That, released April 2025, and it is really good. It's been on repeat all week for me. Again? The Paradox.
The Paradox. I'm going to have to look them up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Definitely have to do that.
So mine's a little bit different. I'm going to wreck. So I've had a really rough week, to be honest with our listeners. I've had a really rough 2 weeks, and I have not been reading. I've not been consuming any media, like anything, but I was on TikTok and there was a sound by an old-timey radio host named Bob Kingsley. He used to do America's Country Top Countdown every Saturday when I was a kid growing up. And so I loved, like, it immediately brought me back. The TikTok made me feel really good. His voice reminded me of how much I love, like, that made me think of the summertime. So I went on Spotify and I found America's Top 40 Countdown with Bob Kingsley, and it's all these old school 90s country songs. And so I am going to wreck today that all of our listeners do something that reminds them of happier times. Like, that's what I'm going to wreck for you today, is that you go do something, whether that's like set up the sprinkler and run through the sprinkler, or go get shaved ice, or listen to Bob Kingsley's Top Country Countdown on Spotify, or whatever it is. Do something that reminds you of a time when things did not seem so scary. Like, the news has just really gotten to me the last couple weeks, so it's kind of deteriorated my mental health. And
you've also been on a terrible side of TikTok, other than Bob Kingsley, apparently. I was getting on to her for this.
So it's really
we just talked about this. We just talked about not being on anything but dopamine TikTok. Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Get your dopamine, people.
Yes. And so I recommend you do that. It's summer's coming up. Do something that just felt like summer when you were a kid, that you always did when you were a kid. So that's what I'm going to recommend, that people take 5-10 minutes.
I actually totally co-wreck that. Yes, I co-wreck rebooting childhood. My wreck for this week is a reboot. I don't remember what it's a reboot of, and I can't find it right off the bat, but it's a reboot of The Four Seasons, and it's called The Four Seasons. I believe it was a movie originally. Just came out. It is The Four Seasons on Netflix. It's got Steve Carell, Tina Fey. It's a Tina Fey show. Coleman Domingo, Carrie Kenny Silver, who you would recognize, Will Forte, one of the SNL alums. I really liked it. I will say, it doesn't have the best reviews, so it may not be for everybody, but I did really enjoy it. So the story is, it's these three friends who were like met in college, and they're all married now, and they've become this cohesive friend group, and they go on a vacation every season. And so they have done this for years, since college. And so it's just about kind of growing up, growing old, how life changes, how that affects your dynamics within the group, how big life changes affect that dynamic. And, but it's also like funny. So it's kind of drama and funny. One of the funnier things to me is also kind of like, it's a certain type of funny, we'll say. One of the couples gets divorced. This is not a super spoiler. It comes up pretty early. But their daughters, there's two of the couple's daughters are in college together, and the one whose parents get divorced is like in the theater program. She like writes and acts and plays, and so they all go to parents weekend. Like all six of the adults go to parents weekend, and her play is on, and her play is all about how one of the parents ruined their lives and their family, and it's real dramatic and real intense. And let's just say the new partner of this person is also in the audience, but not for long. So it's dramatic, but it's funny. Okay, so I'm gonna name a character to Reboot. You cast your dream role with any living actor. I'll kind of give you a twist, like a setting, genre shift, age requirement, whatever, to spice it up. So that's kind of the rules of the game. So my first one is Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon, which is also, by the way, an upcoming live action reboot that I actually am excited about.
Who is Hiccup?
He's the main kid. He's the one who trains the original dragon. Who loses a foot. Toothless. He's like an engineer. He's got toothless.
Okay, Jonathan Krasinski.
Who?
John Krasinski?
Yep, we're making them all adults. How to Train Your Dragon After Dark.
So my twist is cast Hiccup for an HBO Max gritty teen drama version.
That Chase kid from Outer Banks that played
Rule
in that Rule.
Oh, yep.
I could see that.
I would
go with that one.
Recasting. So we've been co-signed. All right. So Buffy Summers cast Buffy as if the show were rebooted in the 1970s.
Farrah Fawcett.
1970s?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Zendaya. I could see her as like...
Oh, she would rock some 70s fashion.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you mean now, but it's all the way back in the 70s. I thought you meant what actress would I cast from the 70s. Which I stand by Farrah Fawcett. She would have been Buffy.
I think that's a valid one, but I like Zendaya as the one I'm...
But I'll go with Zendaya. Zendaya in 70, like, she's got no cell phone. Giles would be funny. I like it.
Yeah. And like, maybe if it was like a few years ago, I would even go like Keke Palmer. I think she would have been a funny Buffy in the 70s too. With like the hair and like everything. I think it would have been great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you'll notice a trend, I'm using characters from movies that are reboots. So Skeletor, cast Skeletor as a villain in a prestige HBO miniseries.
Skeletor like wears a mask, don't he? Like he has like a skeleton face.
Mm-hmm. But imagine
I pulled up a list of actors because again, I'm terrible at recalling names.
But I think I think you could do one of your like gaunt emo boys too. I think that could work as a Skeletor situation.
Cillian Murphy
as a 10 years younger.
As a businessman, as Skeletor. Like no mask, just like
so kind of like when he played Scarecrow.
Yes.
In Batman.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I'm telling you, I really like those emo guys because that was my introduction to. Yeah, I think Cillian Murphy or like if we want to go young and new, Finn Wolfhard. He is.
Was he in Stranger Things?
Yeah, he was the What is his name in Stranger Things? I keep wanting to say Will, but that is not him. He's the main one.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. I don't know why I
could go with him.
His name. I could see that too.
Because his name is Finn Wolfhard. It's a really cool name.
It is a cool name. Is it a stage name or is it a real name?
I don't know.
Okay. Lilo from Lilo and Stitch cast Lilo as a 17-year-old in a YA coming-of-age indie film. That's tougher because you probably want to do, I would want to do like a
Yeah, I would want to do a native
Indian one or a native Hawaiian.
Let me look, because there are quite a few that are gaining some notoriety. Samoan.
This dog's elbow is digging into my leg with a force right now.
I mean, honestly, I'd probably cast the girl that played Moana's voice. Like, she's pretty young looking. She could play a 17-year-old Lilo. I think she would be great at it. I don't remember her name. I'm going to try to find it.
I like that one. How about Frankenstein's monster, but recast the monster as a comedic character in a mockumentary?
Zach Galifianakis.
Tahiti.
Taika Waititi.
That guy.
Taika Waititi. Yeah, that's a good
I think
one.
he'd be hilarious as Frankenstein's monster. I think that would be so funny.
I think that's good. He's also the king of mockumentaries in my eyes after What We Do in the Shadows. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
How about Astrid, which is Hiccup's love interest in How to Train Your Dragon? So she's the blonde one who's very tough in a Mad Max-style dystopian action reboot.
You know who immediately...
I'd go Florence Pugh.
I was going to say Florence Pugh or Sydney Sweeney. I would love to see Sydney Sweeney go like Mad Max, but Florence Pugh's a good one too.
Florence Pugh, I think, would be great. I am not a huge Sydney Sweeney fan, but probably because I do not like the rom-com that everybody flipped out about with her and what's his face? And I loved Glenn Powell. I did not like that movie at all. I thought it was super cheesy, like over the top. And I get that they're kind of trying to be that way, but it was not the rom-com that I was hoping that it would be. So yeah, I think I agree with Florence Pugh. I think she'd be great. And I think that is the end of my list. Oh, geez, this is our last one. There's a Scream 7 coming out.
Okay.
Choose a celebrity who should not be a killer, but totally could be.
In Scream 7?
Yeah.
I don't know who the players are in Scream 7. I haven't followed after the second movie.
It doesn't matter who it is. Just any celebrity that you think, like, you would never place them as a killer, but you think they could pull it off. Like, for me, in this instance, like, the first time I saw Danny Glover play a villain in the movie Shooter, I was like, but I love him so much, and this is not who he is to me. But he did so good at it.
What's his face from Childish Gambino?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hello?
Maybe the actor that played because he's an adult now. What was his name in iCarly?
Right,
he's the one that was always shirtless.
Gibby.
The actor that played Gibby. I think he could do it.
That's a funny.
From
hilarious.
iCarly.
Yeah. Gibby. It's Gibby. That guy. I don't mean him at that age that he played Gibby. I mean him as an adult. I just feel like he's one of those faces that look really sweet and funny and like a nice guy all the time, and then he turn around and be a murderer. I think he'd be good at it.
I like this direction, and I'm going to add that I think Spencer from iCarly could be one of those characters.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
Yes. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and connect with us on social media at Don't Quit Your Day Job. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what you're currently reading, watching, or listening to. Until next time, keep it cozy, keep it fun, and don't quit your day job unless you really want to. Bye!
I got a good feeling. Yeah, I love this life and I'm living it up. You can't stop this dreamer. I'm a mad hatter, call me one of a kind. I'm a true believer.